Los Mochis. Here, in the northwestern part of Sinaloa, just inland from the Sea of Cortez, Los Mochis is looking for a little attention. While tourists flock to the beaches of Mazatlan to the south, and business runs through the capital of Culiacan, Los Mochis at first glance has just one thing to offer. It's the first stop on El Chepe, a scenic train route through northern Mexico's magnificent Copper Canyon. But spend a little time in Los Mochis and you'll discover its second gift to Sinaloa, street food. Tacos, tacos, tacos. Chunky, crispy, fried, adobada, greasy, steamed. You crave it, they've got it.
When you do something right, you don't need to add anything else on your menu.
In my kitchen,
It's incredibly irresistible.
Los Mochis inspires me to come up with two irresistible street food style tacos. Shrimp, bacon, and crispy chickpea tacos with creamy, smooth guacamole. And tacos campechanos. Flank steak, chorizo, and chicharrón, topped with a chunky street food salsa.
It doesn't matter if it's too much filling. The tortilla is just gonna hold it all together.
Dame, dame, dame tu chocolate, dame, dame, dame café caliente, dame, dame, dame tu corazón.
I'm here with Martin Gonzalez. People know him as El Chavo, and we are standing at the Chavo taco stand. And these are really, really, really famous steamed tacos. I had never heard of these before.
Se llaman al vapor por blanditos, no porque llevan agua así.
Entonces nunca están al vapor.
No, nada más.
So the steamed tacos aren't actually steamed in a steamer. So it's the corn tortilla, and then it has the filling that has potatoes and beef, and then they're stacked in that pot, and then they're covered. They just heat each other, and it becomes kind of, están mojaditos.
Before serving, the tacos are drenched in a pinto bean sauce, and then dressed in a serrano chile salsa. These are some of the most famous tacos in Los Mochis. There are El Chavo stands on sidewalks all over the city. And they're always expanding. The family tradition is, when someone in the family gets married, their wedding present is their very own El Chavo taco stand.
¡Delicioso!
Los Mochis is an interesting place. Right now, in this moment, it feels like a taco paradise. But it actually has a very unique history. It was founded by a group of Americans seeking to build a utopian society. The colony didn't stick, but an American industrialist did, building the large sugarcane mill, the railroad, and designing the wide US-style street grid. And the American influence still echoes in Los Mochis. Elena Benitez is a local gastronomical empresario and an enthusiastic promoter of northern Sinaloan cuisine.
So you're a mochiteca.
Así es.
Born and raised Los Mochis.
Sí, todo
How old are you now?
Yo tengo 70 años.
70. Guapota.
Sí. Así es. Con orgullo lo digo.
You're 70 years old and 80 years old and they look so good. ¿Cómo ha visto a Los Mochis cambiar? How has Los Mochis changed?
Siento que Los Mochis nos vamos adaptando, que somos la ciudad que sigue las transformaciones, que las acepta y las hace propias y le pone su propio estilo.
Los Mochis seem so unique in its food offerings.
Los Mochis convergen en ella gastronomía de muchos lugares, porque quienes la fundaron fueron americanos, que vinieron también de otras nacionalidades. Aquí la comida es fresca, es deliciosa, es algo único, así como somos los sinaloenses, hospitalarios, francos. un poquito guapachosos.
I love that word. ¿A qué te refieres con guapachoso?
Nos gusta la fiesta, nos gusta el baile, nos gusta el canto. Así es la comida, alegre, sabrosa.
I am always trying to come up with new and amazing tacos because in this house, we taco not every night, but we taco almost every meal. Today, we are making shrimp, bacon, and chickpea tacos. So I'm going to add 12 ounces of bacon, and I'm gonna cook it over medium-high heat. And then I'm gonna cook the rest of the ingredients in this bacon fat. A lot of street food tacos are nothing but home food that's brought to the streets and then finished off at the stand. And this is my way of bringing that street food into my kitchen. As I fry my bacon, I'm going to make the smoothest guacamole as a topping for those tacos. This guacamole we're gonna make in the blender. You know, I love my blender. And the blender can make a really fluffy, emulsified guacamole. So I'm gonna do 2 avocados, a tomatillo. So you have this kind of tart, and then you have this kind of tart. I'm doing between 2 and 3 tablespoons of lime juice. You can add jalapenos to taste. I know I can take a lot, somebody. 2 jalapenos, about 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of chopped onion. Because the tomatillos are juicy as they start breaking in, it's gonna make it easier for the guacamole to puree. Once the ingredients are combined, I'm going to add something that may surprise you, between 2 and 3 ice cubes. The ice cubes are going to make these guacamole base emulsify in kind of a savory, smooth way. Wait until you see these. Okay. I can just eat it right now. Look at all that amazing rendered bacon fat. I have my heat at medium, and I'm going to add a cup of drained chickpeas because I want to crisp them up a little. And I'm going to season the chickpeas with a guajillo chile. Remove the stem. Remove the seeds. Chickpeas are huge in Sinaloa. So much so that they use chickpeas for soups, for stews, for salads. Because you can never ever have too much crunch, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of slivered almonds. We're really making these chickpeas super shine. We're giving them that crusty, crunchy exterior, and the chile has changed its color. Now it's coated in the bacon fat. I can see that it crisped a little. And now I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of butter and a little bit of olive oil because I'm getting shrimp. You want them to brown on both sides. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper and 2 cloves of garlic. You find shrimp everywhere in Sinaloa. In machaca, stews, in soup. So we needed to have a shrimp taco in here. And now that my shrimp are ready, I'm gonna put these back in there and I'm gonna turn it off because I don't want my shrimp to overcook it. This is what you want in a taco. Like, it doesn't matter if the shrimp are too big, if it's too much filling, because the tortilla is just gonna hold it all together. Mmm. Mmm. The shrimp has like this super delightful wet crunch because it's brown on the outside, but because we didn't cook it too much, it's crunchy and juicy inside, and then you have the crisp chickpeas and the really generous amount of crunchy bacon, and then that smooth guacamole on top. It's a well-rounded taco experience.
In a city filled with delicious street food, how does one become a legend? You gotta give people what they want, right? At Tacos Don Chuy, that's simple. Crave-worthy tacos served up with a side of two-step.
Okay, I have 1 camera, 2 cameras, and 3, 4 cameras because Eduardo is live. We're live from Los Mochis, Sinaloa. Hola, Don Chuy. Ya lo venimos a visitar.
Qué bueno, mucho gusto.
Pero ya lo vi que está usted haciendo sus taquitos y tiene muchos clientes.
Gracias a Dios.
Su lema is Don Chuy's daughter. ¿Cuántos hijos tiene Don Chuy?
4, yo soy la menor.
4. You're the youngest. ¿Y tú otro? ¿Tú cómo te llamas?
Antonio, mucho gusto.
Pati, mucho gusto. ¿Cuántos hijos están aquí en el negocio?
Zulema, Antonio y mi esposa.
Ah, su
Mariela.
esposa también. The whole family's here. So he's 82 years old, but he's been making these tacos for 62 years.
Don Chuy's grill has 3 fillings to choose from. Pinto beans cooked with pork, beef head, which is mostly the chick meat and tongue, and pork crackling, chicharrones. There's also one more not-so-secret ingredient.
Siempre baila cuando hace los
Sí,
tacos.
la gente dice los tacos bailados, vamos a ver. Si no los bailan, no les gusta.
So like the customer's request, like if he's not dancing when he's making them, they won't take the tacos. Y siempre los mismos tacos.
Sí.
Y no se vayan a ir sin probar los taquitos.
Always the same tacos. Si no nos vamos a ir sin probar los taquitos. Okay, can I try one? ¿Puedo probar uno?
Sí.
Don Chuy makes me his most popular taco, a combination with all 3 fillings.
Tan bueno.
Buenísimo. The chicharrón has a crunch, and the cabeza de res, the beef head, has so much flavor and it's
Son lo
super moist.
son lo que piden más combinado.
When you do something right, you don't need to add anything else on your menu. It's crazy delicious. Really delicious. There's a thing in Mexican taco stands called tacos combinados. And tacos combinados combines different kinds of meats with different textures, and you get it all together. And I'm making a classic, a suadero, longaniza, and chicharrón. Suadero usually refers to a cut of meat like brisket or chuck, a meat that has to be cooked for a long period of time with seasonings until completely tender, and then it's shredded and then it's fried in some kind of tasty fat like lard, or I'm gonna do longaniza fat. And in taco stands, the taqueria usually cook the meat at home for a long time, and then they finish it off at the taco stand. So here we have 2 pounds of flank steak. I don't know why I love flank steak so much. It's just a beautiful cut of meat. I'm gonna cover it generously with water and get it going over high heat. And I'm going to add 3 to 4 bay leaves, 2 garlic cloves. If you didn't want to peel them, that would be okay too. A teaspoon of black peppercorns and a teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna let it come to a boil. Once the meat starts cooking, you're gonna start to see some foam over the top, and you wanna remove the foam. You want the meat to cook in a clear broth, But also, when you take the meat out, you don't want the foam to stick to the meat. Now that it's strongly simmering, I'm gonna reduce the heat to medium-low, and this is gonna cook for about 90 minutes. We're in Tacos el Zurdo. No se va a cortar el dedo. Ok. Oh, mira, enséñale a la cámara el pedazo de carne. Mira qué bonito está. Now, an adobo marinade is a sauce that has a base of chile, sometimes vinegar, but there are many different kinds of adobos, and his is unique. ¿Qué tiene su adobo?
Son unas mezclas que hago de diferentes chiles.
Okay.
Esta situación se hace...
roja.
Claro.
He gets pieces of pork butt that have absolutely no fat, and then he marinates it in this adobo marinade. And then they throw them in the deep fryer. He started selling tacos with his mom. ¿Y era esta receta?
No, la fui
No.
mejorando.
He said he's improved his mom's recipe a lot, which is very gutsy for a son to say, I have to say. ¿Y usted quería ser jugador de béisbol?
Yes.
Sí, habla inglés.
No mucho. Bueno, yo firmé 3 veces para el profesional, nomás que no me fui porque nacieron mis hijos.
¿Firmó con quién?
Con Diablos Rojos del México.
¿Alguno es su hijo?
Ahí está ella.
¡Ah! ¡Usted es su hija! Ah, pues venga para acá. Entonces, ¿tu papá iba a
Buen
ser
provecho.
jugador de béisbol?
Sí.
Sí.
Provecho. ¿Te gustó? Perfecto.
Oh, my God. This is so good. The adobada has a lot of flavor, but it's not spicy at all. Pues qué bueno que no se fue a jugar béisbol. When you go to a taqueria, they give you different kinds of salsas. They give you the green salsa, the red salsa, the pico de gallo, some guajillo, and then people don't know what to do because we love salsa so much. We add all the different salsas to the tacos. Some taqueros have come with a salsa taquera, and you know what that is? They take all of the ingredients of all of the salsas and cook them off. So we're making a version of that. I'm gonna toast 2 chiles de árbol. I'm just gonna remove the stem, and I'm just going to be very vigilant because this is gonna take nothing but a minute. I'm gonna take them off, and I'm gonna put them right here in the blender. These are gonna go with the rest of my ingredients. I'm gonna add 2 jalapenos, 6 Roma tomatoes, which is like about 1.5 pounds, half a pound of tomatillos that I already husked, and then a garlic clove. I need to have these cook for 7 to 8 minutes. Back to our salsa. I have the 2 chiles de árbol in here. I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of cilantro. I want to use the stems and the leaves because the stems also have a lot of flavor. 2 tablespoons of chopped white onion, about 3/4 teaspoon of salt, a pinch of cumin. Then we're gonna puree these with these ingredients. See, they're good. So I'm adding all of the tomatoes. We are never seeding, never peeling, never coring. We want the taste of the entire tomato. And the tomatillos too. Okay, I would add the 2 jalapenos already because I know I love the heat, but I'm gonna show you how you wanna do it at home until you know how much heat you want. I'm adding 1 jalapeno at a time, and we're gonna puree until smooth, and because things are really hot in here, I'm gonna start at low speed. There. Okay, we wanna taste for heat. Salsas need to be spicy because the salsa is not the entirety of the dish, it's what goes on top. So I'm adding the other jalapeno, and I'm adding a little bit more salt. we're going to do the traditional Mexican technique of seasoning and double cooking a sauce that already has cooked ingredients. So I have the same saucepan that I used to cook the tomatoes and tomatillos. I rinsed it, I dried it. I have it at medium heat, and I'm gonna add a tablespoon of oil. And I'm waiting for my oil to be very hot because you want the oil to really shock the sauce. You wanna be ready with a lid because it is gonna splatter and smoke and jump, but you need the sauce to do that because you want the sauce to react. You want for some of the oil that was on the bottom of the pan to come to the top. That's how you know you've achieved a really wonderful, doubly cooked salsa. It's gonna take just a couple minutes. Because we didn't puree it all the way, you can still see the seeds of the tomatillo, and it still has some texture, and it smells like anything that you put this on is gonna be delicious. Here I have my suadero, or my flank steak that I cooked for 90 minutes. I let it cool a little bit so that I can handle it. And now I'm just gonna take it out. Really tender, delicious meat. I'm not gonna waste the broth. I'm gonna strain it and put it in my freezer for tons of uses. I'm gonna start frying my longaniza. Longaniza is a variation of Mexican chorizo. Usually has a lot of annatto or achiote seeds. That's what makes it different. Very popular in northern states, very popular in the Yucatan Peninsula. You can use Mexican chorizo instead of longaniza, but if you're making your taco combinados and you're telling your friends that you're making a taco with longaniza and suadero instead of flank, oh, you sound like such a Mexican connoisseur. So as these fries, I'm going to chop my meat, but I'm also gonna start heating my comal because this is gonna come together so fast, and your comal for your tortilla needs to preheat for like 5 minutes. See, like I'm having a hard time cutting into it. It's so soft without it breaking into pieces, which is what you want. And now it's going to finish cooking off in that delicious fat. So if we were in a taco stand, if we were in a taqueria, you would be seeing these in a big plancha, in a big griddle. They would be adding a little bit of one, a little bit of another, and just mixing them right before you eat your tacos. And the other thing that we're gonna add in our combinado is chicharrón. Chicharrón has the best crunch in the world. It's incredibly irresistible. I mean, just hear that crunch. You add this in here, many of its pieces start absorbing the fat and the sauce of what it's cooking in. And you wanna eat these right as that is happening, which is right now. So as my tortillas heat, I'm gonna chop my fresh garnishes. Fresh cilantro and white onion is a typical garnish of tacos combinados. Okay, who's ready? Who's ready? Who's ready? I can't begin to describe this taco. The corn tortilla is just wrapping the soft and luscious meat and the crisp bites of longaniza and the incredibly crunchy pieces of chicharrón that have soaked all of the flavor of that mixed meat combination. And then that salsa taquera has all of the flavors of all of the salsas that I love. That's why street tacos in Mexico are so good, because it's homemade food that's brought to the streets.